You've heard the question a million times, where do you want to be in 10 years? But to be honest, most of us probably don't take that question seriously. We've heard it so much. And if we do, we think about it in terms of our career or money or status perhaps. But have you ever thought about the 10-year question in terms of your relationships? Where do you want to be in 10 years regarding the quality of your relationships? Who's in your life? Who's at your table? Who are you building your life with? Have you thought about the 10-year question in that context? Or try this one. Where do you want your well-being to be in 10 years? Where do you want your happiness in life satisfaction to be in 10 years? Your energy, your self-care, your sense of well-being, sense of meaning and purpose in life, kind of where we started, moving from languishing and lost in the series to a greater purpose and well-being. What does that future, that well-being future, actually look like and feel like? Because the big question isn't where you will be, it is who will you be? And that's the question we're designing today. Welcome back to the Good Life Lab with Dr. Dave, that's me, and our current series I'm calling From Languishing and Lost to a Good Gay Life, or to a life full of meaning and purpose. That's the series we've been in the midst of over the last 16, 17 days. We're in day 17. So we started the remarkable Memento Mori 10-year good life quest yesterday with the 2 sets of questions. Today we're going to finish off the 4 sets of questions with 3 and 4 and talking more about relationships and well-being and where you want to be in 10 years related to those 2 sets of questions. So all of these questions, these 4 sets of questions, lead to a good life statement. We'll spend day 18 focused on synthesizing all these questions and looking for themes. So that's where we're going in the next couple of days. As we get into this topic, let me start off with a few research highlights. So a study found that people who feel strong continuity with their future self, which is what we're talking about. For example, they imagine and identify who they'll be years from now, report higher meaning in life and greater well-being. Another research highlight talks about the best possible self exercise. This exercise and the study around it shows that simply imagining your ideal future across multiple life domains like family, relationships, career, and health boosts optimism, mood, positive expectancies, and reduces anxiety. A third point of research here is about some longitudinal studies. So large-scale reviews show that the quality of social relationships is one of the strongest predictors of long-term happiness and well-being, far outranking income, status, and even IQ. So an example of this type of study, this long-term study, is the Harvard study that I mentioned before. It's this 87-year study now on happiness. And they concluded that above all else, IQ, status, and income, the number one predictor of happiness is the quality of your relationships. To summarize these findings, research shows that when we connect our present self with our future self, when we imagine our relationships, our well-being, and who we'll be in 10 years, we're not just dreaming. We are creating a psychological bridge to that future self. That bridge gives our present decisions much more weight. And because relationships are the single biggest predictor of long-term happiness, envisioning them isn't optional, it's foundational. So today, as we complete our remarkable Memento Mori exercise with 2 additional sets of questions with where we would like to be in 10 years, in our relationships and well-being, aren't just a thought exercise. They're research-backed tools that help link your good life project to real long-term flourishing. As we move into the personal story section of this video, I want to share with you this quote that comes from, I think it was Bill Gates who said this, but I'm not sure. He said, "We overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 10 years." And this is from my own experience, has proven true. So I've talked a lot about Project 46 and my 3 intentions of love and life, peace with God, and a job I like. And that was something I wanted to try to do in 1 year. At the time, I thought that was realistic, that I'd find love in life, which was a partner and better community and a peace with God. I don't know if I thought that would be done in a year, but I was hoping I'd make good progress. but just kind of have some resolution around my faith and my sexual identity. And then the third was to find a job. I thought that'd be something I could do in a year, get back into higher education. While I sincerely thought I could accomplish those or make progress in those areas in a year, in reality, I didn't. Well, in some cases I did. So it really took me 2 years to begin to see progress, where I met my partner within 2 years. I got a job, I think, within 2 years. And then peace with God, that's an ongoing thing. It really took several to 10 years as I look back over that, because that was 15 years ago now, to see the real transformation happen and to realize my initial goals from those intentions. But what these intentions did for me, even though I didn't accomplish them within a year, my time frame that I initially wanted, it set me in a direction. It set my course. And even though I didn't have these questions that I'm sharing with you now, I did use Project 46 as an exercise in envisioning my future in some way. It just took me a lot longer than I thought. And I can say a lot of the good I have in my life now can be traced back to that Project 46, the initial turning point when I was depressed and pretty much isolated and jobless, to flourishing over the next 10 to 15 years to where I am now. And that's why I'm inviting you, and I've created this exercise to help you think through where you want to be in 10 years. What do the next 10 years look like for you in these areas of relationships and purpose and calling and well-being, and using that as another compass point for your future. But before we get into the sets of questions about relationships and well-being, I want to just remind you that if you'd like to work with other people, with other guys, going through these concepts together around compass, I'd love for you to join the Gay Men's Good Life group coaching waitlist. So check that out in the show notes below, and I'd love to see you in a group coming up here in the future. Well, let me give you a couple examples of the questions that you'll be answering in this week's exercise. So the third set of questions in the remarkable Memento Mori Good Life Quest questions is around relationships and belonging. So I want you to think again in terms of 10 years. So think of yourself in 10 years, where you'll be, where you'd like to be in terms of relationships, and answer these questions. How did you cultivate belonging? Who were the 5 most meaningful relationships that you've had over the next 10 years? What was missing in your friendships? What relationship qualities mattered most to you? That gets at your values. How did you navigate conflict with compassion? Which relationships needed new boundaries? And then the last question in this set is, what legacy did you leave in the hearts of those you loved? All right, so that's the third set of questions related to relationships, and take some time to reflect on those questions. And this gets at your best possible self, really thinking about not just the positive things, but some of the roadblocks and barriers and things that you lacked. That really helps you think through this next 10 years and how to make it the most meaningful of your life. And now we'll get into the last set of questions in this exercise. It's around well-being, rhythms, and rituals. Reflect again 10 years from now. How did you care for yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually? What was the true north of your happiness? What rituals shaped your sense of peace? How did your relationship with your body evolve? And then the last question, what are the top 2 to 3 lessons your future self would teach you about well-being? So I'm going to give you these questions, all of them together in a worksheet in the description below, so you can refer to that. I usually do this with clients over 5 weeks. So I give them one set of questions to answer, and then we talk about it the next week, and then I give them the second set of questions. So it takes a long time if you want to take your time and make it meaningful. But you can do it in one setting and do it over 45 minutes to an hour and just walk through these questions, take them seriously, reflect deeply about them. Just that exercise of envisioning where you want things to go, even if you set it aside, can actually kind of seep into your unconscious and help you make decisions based on that vision of the future. So it's even better if you can refer to it often, keep it in a place that you look at it. This exercise can be even more effective if you share it with somebody else, if you meet consistently, regularly with the person, maybe even if it's just a quarterly thing, that could be enough, and just check in occasionally with somebody else about your remarkable Memento Mori 10-year good life quest, and see where it takes you. So now you've completed the sacred anchors and core values segment of this compass framework. And next time, we're going to move into the last S, which stands for the symphony of self-care and service. And so balancing not just what you want out of life, what makes you come alive, like I've referred to quite a bit, but also what are the needs of the people around you that you can serve? What are your needs that might connect to other people's needs, and how do you meet those needs? That balance, that symphony, is a core part of finding life satisfaction and greater meaning and purpose in life. So tomorrow on day 18, we actually take these 4 sets of questions and begin to integrate and synthesize as we talk about the symphony of self-care and service. So look forward to that in tomorrow's episode.